Oh, hoy hoy! How goes it? It's early. It's too early. Too early for this. But I'm gonna do the thing. How are you doing, chat? Okay, so yesterday we had a so-so, not so good kind of time on this game. Yeah, that's actually a track I made years ago on my modular synth, so that's me. And I was kind of thinking about changing it and doing it. I've got lots of different stuff I've recorded and putting something different on there every time I stream, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. So I think I'm just gonna play a couple warm-up games here and then see how I'm warming up on the game, and then decide if I want to do co-ops. Basically, if I'm doing well, I want to play just single-player games, and if I'm not doing great, then we'll play some co-op ones with me as all 4 players, just so I can actually get some progression. Which actually, it's kind of odd. I think playing that way sometimes also gets me playing better. I'm in a better loop because I'm playing deeper into the game. Yesterday I had pretty good luck hitting the R in my skill shot. Let's see if that continues now. Whoa, spicy. Ah, typical. Trying to regain control there, it's just super wild. I was actually thinking about waxing the playfield this morning, but I figured I'm having a hard enough time as it is. I don't know if that would help or hinder me. Ooh, terrible. Sometimes it does, you know? Oh, I can't believe it gave me that ball save. That's great. So, I'm not really a huge sports fan or anything. Like, I don't mind watching live sports, but I don't really follow it on TV or anything like that. And yesterday I started watching this this show about the Chicago Bulls dynasty in the 90s. I forget what it's called, The Last Dance or something like that. Yeah, The Last Dance. And it's so compelling, and I don't care at all about sports, but I really like, it's like baseball movies. Like, watching baseball is like, even as a fan of baseball, it's like, it's slow, it's tedious. But baseball movies are so great. And this show kind of has that same vibe for me. It's really compelling and engaging, even if you don't care about the subject matter. Oh my god, I'm playing like ass. That's okay though. Warming up. I love getting those lock quick shots. I think they're like one of my favorite things to do in this game. When it happens, it's just like, oh. And I like how quick it is to come out of that lock and into a new ball. The one thing I wish about this game, even though it would make it incredibly difficult to do a lot of the strategies that exist on the game now, is to have that auto plunge trigger as rapidly as the scoop plunges. Super secret skill / lock shot. Yeah, that's the one what do? You hold in one of the flipper buttons, plunge it all the way around, and then shoot into the lock shot. Is that what it is? I've gotten it a few times. I never really... Do you even need to hold in the flipper button on it? Or is it just a full shot? I've gotten it a few times before, but... Said before, I really don't actively chase skill shots in games. There's a few games where I do just because they're either super easy to do or they're... like the point value for them is so much more substantial. Okay, so yeah, okay, I gotcha. I'll try it on the next one. I do like that because it's a backhand and it's relatively quick. What do I got? One more to go. It'll take me a little while to get used to how the ball's coming down on this one. Let's try it. Ah, does it have to be within the ball save, or what is the timeout on it, or just as long as you don't hit the switch? Oh, you need to flip it as the bounce happens. Okay, I see. That makes more sense. Like right there, I see. Okay. That'll be tricky. I've never done it that way. The only way I've ever gotten it is by just rapidly flipping as it comes down. Yeah. Get in that scoop. Alright, let's try that now. Almost. I'm a little bit early on it, but I think I do like the feel of that already. Still a little bit early on it. Wow, that was brutal. At least it gave me one of them back. Oh, it gave me both. Oh, I thought I had it there. That sucks. Whew. Les Spice. The Spice Melange.
Grade safe, level 1. Close the lid.
It's always that left one that just sits there and taunts me. Oh, get in there. So quick, it all just... That was not bad though. For my second... Was my second or third game? One of those. I hate Windows pop-ups so much. Alright.
Welcome to the future.
Okay, so let's try and get that skill shot. Skill shot. So I'm getting it a little bit early. I'm wondering if maybe if I kind of slap into it, I'll be moving it over just enough to get it up. So let's try that.
Full save.
That's a little closer. Thanks for the host, don't panic. Jesus. Alright, let's try that again. It's getting there. Getting there.
Full save.
Yep. We will see you later. A little bit early on that. However, that does seem to be a pretty consistent way for me to hit the center targets, which is good to know. No, there's lots of games that have one pop bumper. Meteor actually might have one pop bumper. Rick and Morty's got one, I think. I don't think it has anything other than the one lower pop bumper. A lot of the, probably like, there's probably at least a handful of the early solid state stuff that has a single pop bumper. Trident might actually only have one. No, it has a few, I think. I don't know. There's a few that have one pop bumper. It's more common to have one pop bumper, but it's much less common to have one pop bumper in a to replace a sling position. Like Rick and Morty has the pop bumper instead of the sling on the left side. There's only a few games that have done that, so that's kind of more interesting. Kind of curious now, actually. I'm pretty sure Trident and Meteor both only have one, but Meteor I'm not positive on. Yeah, Meteor looks like only has one. No, it doesn't. It has the two at the top. I was thinking of just the one in the middle. And Trident... I'm starting to question everything I know. Trident has two. There's a lot of games that feel like they only have one pop bumper. But no, it's far from being the only table in the world which has one pop bumper, but it's not super common, but it's still way more common than having one pop bumper that's in a unique position. Usually it's just one pop bumper put wherever, kind of in the same positioning you'd put whatever, like 3 pop bumpers, 2 pop bumpers, whatever. Basically, I'm talking out of my ass here. And in terms of layout, I don't even really think that TNA is that unique. Having the sort of like gated in kind of area at the top. It's relatively common for early solid states. The 3 in a row drop targets is pretty common. What's not common is having a scoop here and a scoop here. The scoop coming out of the gate, probably, I don't know if that's been on anything. Yeah, that's probably more of a unique feature there. Having a scoop with an entrance and an exit on 2 sides out of a gated area or whatever, that's probably a bit more unique. And also, maybe having a scoop at the end of the drop targets. It depends if you include saucers as scoops. A lot of the early solid states had saucers, which are basically just like a little dish cup thing with a kicker in the bottom. So if you include those, maybe it's a little bit more common, but this one in particular, I can't even think of a game that has a scoop you come in. Well, I guess Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon has a scoop you come into off the top ramp, and you can get to it from the bottom. I don't know. Sorry about the buzz there, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in pinball that you might think it's like a super unique idea. I shouldn't have changed lanes there. That's stupid. But it's more so just not seeing certain machines around. You think that a certain feature might be a little bit less common. Like good examples, Trident actually. I love that game. It's one of my favorite early solid states. We have one at our local pincade here. And I had never seen or really even heard of that game. It's an early Stern. Well, not early Stern, but early solid state Stern. And apparently they're really popular in like Australia. And I think there's a lot of games like that. Like they were big in specific regions for one reason or another. Maybe, you know, like oddly enough, there's a lot of interflip dragons in the area that I live in, and I don't think they were always here, obviously, but Interflip was a Spanish company, I believe. And Dragon is such a bizarro pin, it's so weird. There's so many things on it that are like, just a little bit different than how they'd be done anywhere else. And you know, it's like that. Like having a bunch of those in one area, you start to think, well, like, oh, they must have made a ton of these, and you know, they probably made a bunch of them, but
Please stand by for reactor startup sequence.
it's just like region specific. If you go like one state over, one province over, one territory over, or whatever, you won't find any of those, and it'll seem like they're
Wall saved.
it'll seem like they're like unobtainium, you know. Come on, come on. Nice.
Increased.
Oh, those are the worst ones. My phone's off the hook. I meant to open this back up. Oh, by the way, last night Gambanu followed me. Thank you for the follow, Gambanu. Getting closer to my goal here. What is it? 250 and I'm at 236. Not that it really matters, but it's kind of fun.
Destroyed.
Nice. Alright, let's try to get some control here and get our locks going. Yeah. Yes. Oh no! I tried to do the speed lock there. Brutal. That's gonna take me a while to get that feeling totally right for me. The backhand on it, I'm usually hitting about here, and that's like my snap reflex shot on it. And when I tried to slow myself down a little bit, I ended up hitting like the destroy target.
Welcome to the future.
So let's see if we can get that a little bit more squared up. I think I need to wait just a split second from when it hits and not hit right away. Ah, a little bit too late there.
All right.
So when it auto plunged, I think it came out a little bit slower and I was able to be a bit more consistent on it, because I did get it that time, but it was off an auto plunge and not one that I pulled. That was not my finest moment. So I wonder if I do a little bit less than a full plunge.
Wall saved.
Maybe. I don't think it makes a difference. I think it's just my timing on my flip.
All right.
I can't tell if that's dried wax beside my sling. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe kind of. Right beside this, there's two lines or whatever on the artwork coming out of the sling here. It looks kind of like a paint chip, which worries me because some people have had chipping issues with this game and I haven't. I'll have a look at that after. It does kind of look dirty though. Maybe I should have waxed it just to clean it.
Shooter scoop to start reactor.
I'm trying. my god. Rejects. Oh, I waited just a little bit too long there. All right, let's try to get that backhand. I feel like I'm really consistent on hitting the center targets with it. But that is it.
Reactor destroyed. Blade save. Level 1. Mystery award lit. Reactor off. Shoot the left switch to start reactor.
Okay, backhand. Oh, that one will probably be okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Bonus multiplier increased. Reactor online. Material blocked.
Ah. Nice.
Bonus multiplier increased. Blade save. Level 1.
Ooh. Come on.
Reactor critical.
Oh boy, spicy. Ah, no, no. Okay, I'm gonna pop the glass off real quick and I just want to check and see if that is a paint chip. I don't think it is, but if it is, I should figure out where it's coming from. I'm gonna just mute the game audio so we don't get no annoying buzz. Buzz-a-luzz. Alright, so this... Well, that's on there. Ooh, that's not good. Can't see it really. Maybe this camera will kind of show it. Yeah, a little bit. So there's a little piece of blue paint chip, I think. Looks like blue paint chip. Now the only blue paint is up at the top. Oh yeah. Yeah, there is a little bit of chipping right in there. That's concerning. I might need to put just a little bit of clear touch-up paint around the base there just to hold it in place. And I'm noticing this is a little piece of Mylar on there had peeled up as well. So yeah, I am getting a little bit of chipping right there. That's unfortunate. It's a pretty heavy wear area though, so it's kind of unsurprising that that would be a spot that I'd get a little bit of that happening. So basically what happens is they clear the play field after they paint it, and then clear coat takes quite a long time to actually fully harden. Like, I think it's like 3 months or something like that. Like, it's a really long time. And that's after the entire process of like multiple clears and like sanding it down and multiple clears and sanding it down. And basically what happens is a lot of the manufacturers, Stern suffers from this, obviously Spooky suffers from this. Basically everybody has had issues with this because what happens is they clear it and they don't really let it set fully before they tighten down things like these posts and whatnot. And so what you'll see on a lot of modern games for sure is things like a little bit of like, it looks like pooling or bubbling kind of around, like a little bump of clear right by posts and things. And it's usually a kind of a sign of trouble as a result of it. Huh. But that's interesting because I never had anything like that pooling or bubbling. And I don't have chipping anywhere else, but that one specific spot seems to have a little bit of wear there. And that spot actually had a little piece of Mylar around it. I'm wondering if maybe it was a defect in the Mylar as it lifted and separated out, brought the clear and the paint with it. Anyways, I'm gonna grab a microfiber cloth. I thought I had one over here, but I don't. And we'll throw a little bit of wax on here, clean it up a little bit, and we'll get back to playing. Yeah, I mean it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. It's crazy that it would take this long for it to happen, though. I mean, I've had this game for probably like 2 years, something like that. Okay, let me grab a cloth here. So the first thing I want to do is just run this over here and just check if there's anything else that wants to lift up. It doesn't look like it, so that's good. Had one little loose piece there. Like I said, even just like a tiny little dab of clear nail polish along the end just to help bind it down, anything like that. You don't need to go crazy, and I think a lot of people get hung up on whether or not you know, they deserve a new play field or something like that. And the reality is that's what manufacturing these things looks like these days. There's much more demand. There's much less room for big companies to have a warehouse of, or even small companies, especially small companies, to have a warehouse of playfields drying, basically. However, it would be nice if this wasn't an issue. But what used to be one-off things that happened on pinball machines are kind of happening a lot more frequently, for the reasons I mentioned, having a much larger base of people buying the games and a much not a much smaller, like the same size manufacturing facilities for a larger base of people. I mean, obviously Stern wants to sell as many games as they can, same with Spooky, and you know, they can only make so many because of things that take, you know, time, such as clear coats drying. But it is what it is. This was a little bit dirty for sure. Ooh, grimy. I don't know if you can see that. I should probably clean the balls too. Clean your balls. Clean your balls. Always make sure you clean your balls. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you go online and it's like outrage, outrage, outrage over like manufacturing defects and stuff, and there are some that I'm like, you know, from the factory they should be replacing that, but a lot of them, like, you know, clear being bubbled up a little bit, whether or not they're early warning signs of issues like, say, chipping, you know, I never really had any of those warning signs and it still happened here. So I think a lot of people just want something absolutely perfect, completely free from defects, and I don't think that's something you can expect in pinball these days. I mean, really, ever. If you think about it, there's never been a time in pinball where you could really rely on that. Maybe early JJP stuff, but only because they're wouldn't call it warranty, but like their customer service was so good, but the game still shipped with tons of issues. You know, Dark Ages Stern of like kind of mid 2000s, where not as many games were selling. I can't see Stern spending more time during that era making sure the games ship 100% perfect. And I wasn't buying new in box or anything around that time. I was still in high school. Well, just got out of high school. So I don't know if things were better then than they are now, but I kind of doubt they were. But yeah, that's the reality. Right now, pretty much every manufacturer has issues with clear. No one has actually resolved theirs. Stern has had issues with it for a long, long time. You know, you look at like my Star Trek. I had a Star Trek LE, and I bought that from the first owner of it. And it was probably the first Stern game I seen that had the like stippling or whatever like the dots. It's the clear coat defect basically, that basically the playfield, as it's curing, it's absorbing into the wood and causing what looks almost like golf ball dimpling, you know? Okay, I think this is cleaned up enough. So yeah, I'm gonna have to touch that up a little bit. It's only one post. I don't see any other ones having any issues there. Like this one here, basically same amount of wear and tear on it, more or less, and it looks fine. So Same with the ends of the posts on the slings. Those are good. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate. A little bit of chipping on this post, but what can you do? Like I said, it's the reality of pinball right now. Oh, I'm gonna clean the balls real quick. Damn it. Oh. It's fortunate. I don't know why it auto plunged that out, but I will take it. I was curious if I just kind of lifted it a little bit, if it would actually auto plunge it. Calm down. So now we're gonna get to see the real pain here as the playfield's waxed up a little faster. These balls will need to be replaced soonish, but they're okay. Might be a little bit tough for the camera to pick that up. So you can kind of see scratching along there. Sorry if I'm like my face like right in the camera. You can kind of see scratching along there, but it's not deep and there's no pits. So they're okay for now, but that is something I'll need to get around to doing. I have lots of balls, I just don't want to go downstairs and dig through my boxes to find the right ones for this. Okay. They take worse abuse than that. All right, let's get this back on. It's mostly clean, but my grimy fingers have been gripping. Okay, cool. Let's...
Welcome to the future.
Yeah! Got that one. So it does feel like it's moving a little bit quicker. Bummer, dude. That is a really, really tough thing to get dialed in. I can get it, I 100% can, but I'm just always hitting it early or late.
Player 2.
Ah,
Welcome
shit.
to the future.
Well, we're playing two-player game now.
Secret skill shot.
Oh, I got it finally.
Ball saved.
Yeah, I'm definitely not consistent on it though.
Two blocked. Jackpot.
I did not think I was getting that ball save. That's great. Not that I used it. A little too late. I wouldn't say that was a quick shot, but thanks, game. You're so generous. So I think the cool thing is even if I miss the backhand into the lock, I've still got a pretty good chance that I'm gonna hit something on the grid, which is pretty good. Yeah, like that, like just hit two targets, wham bam.
Start reactor.
Ah! I was hoping I could get a bit of bounce back from that. George, did you get any chipping anywhere on your playfield? Or any bubbling in your clear or anything like that? I feel like it's not really that widespread of an issue, but I do remember early on in TNA's production run that there was quite a few people bringing it up. I just don't think it was that widespread of an issue. Yeah. Yeah, I normally don't spend too much time nitpicking the clear. It's really a pet peeve of mine. People go on Pinside and like post like 40 pictures of like every post on their playfield, and like, you know, they look like really big problems, but you don't realize unless you own the game like how zoomed in those pictures are sometimes, and people are nitpicking basically microscopic problems. And to me that's just like, if you want perfection, do it yourself. Build your own pinball machine. But that being said, there's a limit to it, and like, you know, if I bought a game and from the factory there was issues that were like pretty substantial,
Destroyed.
I'd be upset. Like when Ghostbusters came out, that game had a lot of really big clear issues. Like there was full-on playfield chipping out of box, like brand new in box chipping, and that's a completely different territory. Come on, there it is, nice.
Start reactor. Reactor online.
It's close.
Select jackpot.
that was dumb. But yeah, I really don't like when people nitpick like minor things, especially if they're minor things that you can fix yourself. Clear code issues is kind of like, it's a hot topic because I understand what's going on with the clear and why it's failing the way it is. And I understand that they could fix their problems with clear by maybe using a different manufacturer's clear. You know, maybe they don't save as much money, or by letting the playfields cure longer, things like that. But the reality is you can't expect Stern, who puts out a new title every 3 to 4 months, to wait 3 to 4 months for their playfields to cure. They would have to be consistently building one game while letting the cure dry on the next game. So they would effectively have to announce 2 games at a time. And, you know, Stern's big in the world of pinball, but they're not a big company. And then you compare that to Spooky, who's like, you know, as homebrew as it gets in terms of like actual professional quality. I don't know. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. Yeah, I didn't think so. Like I said, pretty much everyone has had an okay time with TNA except for the early adopters. I don't even know what mine is. Does it say it here? Or do I have to go around the back? So I have a manufacture date of May 21st, 2018, which is six months into the production run, give or take. Ooh, spicy. That was actually the worst part about me waiting for my TNA, is seeing the issues thread and being like, should I actually, you know, stay committed to this? Because I was in on Big Lebowski, and, you know, hindsight's 20/20, but at the time it was like, people were like, this is a scam, we need to get out, we need to get our refunds or whatever, and I did get a refund. Some people didn't, and that's a shame, but like, ideally I would have liked to have actually gotten the game and just kept it in a box and then sold it now for a lot more money. Same thing with Alien. I had an Alien LE and mine was actually made and ready to ship, and I had ordered it through Tommy with Nitro, and he basically told me, he's like, do you want it? If you want it, cool. If not, we can flip you over onto a different game, you know, at no cost to you. And Maiden had come out a couple months prior, and he had just gotten premiums in, and I was like, I've played Maiden, I know it's awesome. I played Alien, and while I loved the theme and the sound and all that stuff, it was like not as polished of a game, and my big thing was parts, right? Like, you buy a Stern, you know you're gonna be able to get parts for it for the foreseeable future, and that's a substantial difference versus Highway, where it was like, you may literally have a completely useless game because they've decided to use a specific type of what do they call it? Mini ITX motherboard with, like, I don't know. There was like a lot of unique things about it that you couldn't buy a direct off-the-shelf thing except for one specific motherboard. So it was like you pretty much have to immediately buy a spare motherboard just to have it, just in case. and then clone everything over onto it while your shit still works, because you don't know if Highway's gonna go out of business and you'll not be able to get code and things for it. So it was like, it's not a happy situation to be in, because both of them were games that I wanted, Big Lebowski and Alien, and I could have had them, but I was just like, nah. And I mean, again, hindsight's 20/20, but I'm happy with the changes I made. I think instead of getting a Big Lebowski, I ended up putting my money towards, might have been Game of Thrones. When did Game of Thrones come out? It's either Game of Thrones or Star Trek, or what else did I have early on then? I don't know. Either way, it's I was happy with my purchases. Game of Thrones is great. Like, my problem is I don't have the space for a lot of pinball machines, so I basically have to make hard choices and move games that I love. I had probably one of the nicest Trons you'll ever see. Game of Thrones, Simpsons Pinball Party, Star Trek LE. Game of Thrones was a premium by like upper playfield, so. And yeah, you have to get rid of all of them because you don't have the space. Meanwhile, some people call me crazy because I keep my Judge Dredd, but I love Judge Dredd. It's just one of those games that, like, I think it'll probably be the last game I would ever sell. But people always say that and they're like, oh, I'd never sell that, I'd never sell that. And my whole thing is everything is for sale. If somebody walked up to me and was like, hey, I'll give you $12,000 for your Judge Dredd, I will sell it. But I have a running joke on the Canadian Pinballs for Sale thread where I, every time I bring up selling my game or my Judge Dredd, I increase the price, and it's currently at $32,300. So that's the asking price for my Judge Dredd. But next time I think I'm gonna go, I don't know, you know, times are tough right now. I might only go up to like 34.3. So somebody might be able to get a little bit of a deal, you know. But I certainly wish, like, when I got into pinball in like 2013, there was still some really good deals to be had. Like, you could get, I don't know, like a Williams Indiana Jones for like in good condition. Not like, there wasn't a lot of like, wasn't a lot of powder coating being done quite yet. It was starting, but there wasn't a ton of it yet. So just a nice kind of factory, but like clean, maybe clear coated playfield, maybe. You can get an Indiana Jones for like, I don't know, maybe a little bit more than that, like 6,000 Canadian. So like, I don't know, at that time we were closer to parity, so like 4,800, 5,000 US. And now it's like, you see like a Circus Voltaire for like 12,000, and like Circus Voltaire is beautiful, but it's an annoying game. It's terrible. If you've ever actually been around a quiet room playing Circus Voltaire, it is like, you just want to die. That fucking circus music is the worst thing ever. Like, can you imagine if this game, instead of like a pumping soundtrack, it was like doo or whatever the hell it is on Circus Voltaire? You would just be like this. This is what you'd do. You'd be like, oh man, so glad I got this game. 2017. So you would have been getting into it basically when Stern was still taking 2 years to get code updates out on things. That's one thing I will say, Stern's been pretty good about code updates lately. Not for like older games that need it still, but like, you know, they've been putting out code updates every couple of months for most of the newer titles, and their code is feeling a little bit more finished on a lot more games. Black Knight's most recent code update was really nice. The one that added in the alternate soundtrack sucks, but in that same update, they added in some really nice code changes, some rule stuff. And it's nice to see them doing that right away, because like Walking Dead, for example, I played it when it first came out, and I thought it was a piece of shit. I hated it so much. I was really into the show and the comics, and I was just like, this is an abomination. This is a joke. Yeah, well, and that's the thing with any game, especially a game that starts in the same place. I wish there was more games that had, say, okay, so right now I'm in the reactor 1, waiting to start the reactor's ready, and I'm in the lane here. I've got one music choice at that point in the game, always. And at any point in the game, there's always one choice. I feel like we need to get into a point with pinball, especially with more people playing it, more consistently playing it, streaming and stuff, where we need to see, 4 things that have the potential of loading at any given point in the game. And I think that alone would be enough, even 2 things at any point in the game, just to mix it up a bit, And TNA's got great music. I mean, think of the games that have like not so good music. It's like, yeah. That's why I like pin sound. So like, I didn't do it with my Judge Dredd. I just made a fixed soundtrack for it of the stuff that I like. Kind of all outrun music and whatnot. But with pin sound, you can actually have multiple things that have the option of playing. It's basically a coin toss on which one plays. Like they'll be triggered by the same thing. I should have made some coffee while I was cleaning this up. But yeah, pin sound I think was like, if you've got an older game that you like the way it plays, but you're not crazy about the music, what I did is I just changed the music. I kept all the same sound effects and stuff, and that was like, it's what I wanted to do. Like, and for like 90s games, really in particular, it is phenomenal. Like, even look at something like High Speed. You can put in the actual ZZ Top songs, like, or whatever, really. And it's relatively easy to swap between things. You lower the volume down to 0 and then hit it again, and it'll swap between a full set of soundtracks. So like my Judge Dredd, I never use it, but there's like a Metallica soundtrack in there. There's like a few other things as well. And I don't use them because I like mine, but they all have a slightly different flavor to them, which is cool. So if I really got sick of my soundtrack on it, I could just put a new soundtrack and it would feel like a new game. It also really bugs me that Stern is so, they attempt to be so closed on sound, like, and I say attempt because they would probably tell you that their sound is closed source or whatever, but it's really not. If you have Pinball Browser, you can open it up and change all that stuff. It's just not a flexible system, and I don't see why in this day and age you wouldn't have a more user-friendly thing. Obviously, they don't want to put themselves in a position where their licensees would be like, well, we don't want people putting, Slayer on our soundtrack or whatever. But, Stern could make it just an easier backdoor to use, That's right. It's time for some actual progression in the game. It doesn't? Oh. I mean, I hated using it. I thought it was really archaic to use, but yeah. Okay. Game time. Yeah, I'm not a big Metallica fan. I like their early stuff, but I'm not really a big fan in any way. And I actually don't mind it on that game either. Like, I wouldn't get sick of listening to Metallica if I owned one. But there's a lot of games that just it's too repetitive. Maiden, I like the music on it. I like Maiden quite a bit, but Different Strokes, man. Though not that it makes much of a difference. Every time I upload a Maiden video, it gets content flagged by BMG or whoever the fuck. Fuck YouTube. Maybe I'm just crotchety, but the older I get, the less I like every single social media thing out there. Like, I liked YouTube in like 2010 when it was like, there's not really any ads and it was popular, but not so popular that like it was like Condé Nast, like Reddit, you know, like Reddit was awesome. And then Condé Nast brought it and you're like, the ads are coming. And they did. They came so hard. YouTube's the same. It's just like, you know, one thing after another. Oh well. Where else am I gonna go? Vimeo? Oddly enough, I don't even think you can post stuff like this on Vimeo. Vimeo does have their own streaming thing, but it costs like $80 a month or something like that. I don't know who it's aimed at, but it's definitely not me. Fumbling around here. Oh, my hand kind of slipped on the machine there for a second. Oh, my greasy mitts cost me the game. Interesting combo there. Oh, not bad. It's okay if you don't intentionally do it. Right? Right?
Two blocked.
Oh, nice.
Level 1. 2x jackpot.
Was hoping I could get a lane there. Calm down. Okay. Whew. Whew. I don't know what my brain did there, but it didn't work. This camera is such a piece of junk. I have a better camera, but I needed to use the HDMI from it for this one. It uses a micro HDMI, not a mini HDMI like the other ones do. So I got a replacement for it, but it's not here yet. That was a weird one. Come on.
Full save. Full save.
Oh no! No, no, no! Yeah, I really don't like manufacturer-specific cords and ports and all that shit. I have a drawer full of cables that I can't throw away because I only have one of those cables, and one day I'm gonna get rid of it and then need it. So I have all these like one-off oddball cords in this drawer, and yeah, I hate it. They all suck. Pick standards and stick with the manufacturers.
Full save.
All right, come on. It's always one target. Just one target won't cooperate. I was way too quick on that. Yes. That's all I was hoping for, the lucky bounce, because I knew I wasn't going to get it on my own.
Two blocked.
scoop is so bad for rejects. I can basically only get it when I backhand it, despite it being angled for this flipper. Silly.
Reactor value maxed.
Alright.
Please stand by for reactor startup sequence. Reactor online.
I had a feeling that was gonna happen.
Level 1. Skill shot complete. Reactor critical. Reactor value maxed. Reactive jackpot.
Not quite. I don't know if I'm gonna get that third one back, no? Got one back and drained one immediately. So good. So good. There we go.
2x jackpot. Level 1. 2x double jackpot.
Ooh, that's lucky. Ah.
Reactive jackpot. Lane save. Level 1. Super spinner initialized.
Oh, so close. It's like one shot away there.
Split. All saved.
Ah, crap.
All saved.
I'm actually not sure why it gave me that ball save there. I did not have one lit up or a countdown. Super weird. All right, so let's try and get some locks and get into a multi-ball. It's gonna make this a heck of a lot easier. Oh, I thought I missed that one. control there. Okay, there we go. Took out 2. Just have the R target left, I believe. Well, we used that multi-ball. Oh, give me it.
Danger.
Okay. I misread that entirely. I'm not getting that one. Yeah, when it auto plunges, I can be kind of consistent on it, I think. Yeah. I spoke too soon. All right, I'm gonna make a coffee, go to the washroom. I will be right back. Alrighty. Righty-roo. I'm back with you. Sweet, sweet lifeblood.
Welcome to the future.
I really wish I could completely filter out the entirety of that background hum. Let's turn that down a little bit. So I was thinking, I had some thoughts while I was making my coffee. Instead of, companies like Stern or whoever making it, so you can swap out the music in a sort of like hard way. What if they made it like a streamable thing? So like, imagine like a Chromecast inside of the pinball machine where you can open up your Spotify and be like, stream to TNA, and when it detected an ingest, it swapped the music over to whatever music you had coming into it. That would be sweet. So then you would have just the sound effects would stay, and the music would get, if there was nothing coming into it, it would get overridden by it. Obviously, in a public location, this would be extremely abused, and you would hear moaning sounds coming from TNA while reactors are being destroyed. But still, for at least a home use scenario, it would be pretty awesome. Because then you could just open something up on your phone and you could be like, now play that on TNA, and it would play it, and you're good to go. So what did we do? On that last co-op, we got up to Reactor 6. I don't think we'd started Reactor 6. So that's my new goal. At least start Reactor 6. But we're not gonna do it on this one, because I'm playing solo and there's no way I'll get to there. Just want control, just slow down. Oh my god. Please stop. Okay. No! I missed the easiest shot on the game. And but yeah, that's something I would like, because I like game audio. I've always liked game audio. I want to hear the sound effects and stuff, but like, the closest you can get to that is like on the modern Sterns. I don't know if this game has it. Yeah. Modern Sterns have a, where would it be? Maybe feature? I don't think so. I don't know if they actually have it. Some games do. Does it show that? Not really that clearly. No, I don't see it in here. But Sterns have a thing, you can adjust attenuation on the music and whatnot, as well as JJP has that. And on JJP's, I think you can easily just turn the music right off if you wanted to, if I'm not mistaken. And that's kind of a solution, because then you can have game audio and then play your own music. But I don't know. There's no easy way to make a pinball machine integrate with the digital life without ripping the whole thing out and starting from the ground up, basically. I mean, the control of the actual, solenoids and stuff, that's one thing. But just making it, like, kind of open and user-friendly in the modern age is, like, there should be, if they're going to put Wi-Fi connectivity on a machine,
Welcome to the
they should also be putting like a web interface for it, you know, so you can go in there and you can adjust all the settings from a web interface, for example. That would maybe make it worthwhile for me, but like, I don't care about uploading my scores. A pinball machine is so hard to regulate that stuff. Like, should my score be put in the same category as a guy whose table is at, you know, 4 degrees tilt when mine's at 6.5, 7 degrees? I don't think so. But people want it. I want it too, to be clear. I want it to be done right, and I know that Stern won't do it right. Stern's advances in technology are 1 step forward and 14 steps back.
Full save.
I am really feeling out of my element right now. That's the best way to get combos. I should have known. Brutal. It must be hot today. My wrists are swelling up to the point that I don't want to wear my watch. Okay, we'll start a co-op game.
Welcome to the future.
Co-op mode activated.
Activated. Add additional players now. Player 2, player 3, player 4.
Okay, so start reactor 6. That's what I need. We're gonna get there by getting all them quick locks and multi-balls.
Full save.
That's how it's done. Yeah, just like that. You would think I know what I'm doing. You'd be mistaken.
Reactor unlocked. Shoot the left scoop to start reactor. Reactor on.
Oh, that was fortunate. That was not. Ah. I need to get that backhand down off of a full plunge. The auto plunge is slightly softer and I'm more consistent on that one. But off of my own full plunge, it's a little bit more challenging. Ugh. Oh, that's brutal. Très brutal. This is one game that I wish had powder coating on it. I love powder coating because it gives my sweaty hands a little bit more grip. Ugh, totally off there. Good timing there, get the reactor unlocked while I'm rattling around up there. Ah. I am not good at splitting the balls in this game. Ah, so close. Take advantage of that. Ah. That's what I wanted. Nice. Points wise, this is going to be a decent ball. Damn. That's one thing that doesn't happen too often in this game, is stacking up the multipliers that aggressively. Usually you have a hard time having the ball and play long enough to get there. But if you do have a good ball, you can get huge points in this game just from the bonus. You know what? It doesn't look like it's huge, but a lot of it's during gameplay. You're getting the reward for hitting that thing, the actual end of ball bonus isn't substantial. I think there it was like 300,000, and that wasn't a great ball. It was just better. Not today, Grandma. Shit. Might as well go for the reactor here. Oof. Oof. Nope, didn't work out for me.
Mystery award lit. Please stand by for reactor startup sequence. Reactor online. All saved.
Damn it. Brutal.
All saved. All right, locked. Danger.
Trying to maintain control, and I'm not that great at it. So probably want to get up top there. Not like that.
Two locked.
What? Wow. I am seriously sucking.
Mystery award lit.
So I'm probably going to want to go for the mystery just so that I can potentially get a light locks mystery award. Though I don't know if it's fixed. I don't know if I can get that again right now. We'll see. Enable ball save, that's good enough. That'll let me get a drain here.
Ball save.
Ah.
Reactor critical.
Nice. Brutal.
Level 1. Skill shot complete. All right, right. Reactor unlocked. Online. Two locked. Reactor critical. Reactor value maxed.
Nice.
Two extract rot. Blade save. Level 1.
Shit. Alright, so we only have 2 shots to make to get that reactor lit, which meets the goal that I had, and 2 balls to do it in. If I was a better player, that'd be no problem, but we'll see. I am going to go for the upper skill shot just to try and auto start that reactor, but no dice.
Two locked.
Okay, just gotta get into the reactor there. That was an absolute joke of a multi-ball. baby. I am having a good old-fashioned struggle here. There we go. All right, goal met. Everything else is bonus. Now, do I try and clear up those locks to try and get into another multi-ball? I think so, because I'm gonna have a lot more targets to destroy, so if I could get a little help on those, that would probably be good. Oh. Whoa. I do that every time on this game. The ball just does not bounce as aggressively on this as I expect it to. It gets me every time. All right, last ball. Let's try and get this skill shot up top. Yeah!
2. Skill shot complete. Wall save. Reactor value lost. Reactor critical. Danger.
Brutal. Still, that was okay. Oh, I thought that was higher than the other one. Okay, well, I think that's it for me today. Just a little bit of a shorter stream as I started a bit earlier. But, potentially gonna do a versus stream of this at some point. I don't know if I'm gonna play this again next time I stream. I might hop over onto Judge Dredd, but I haven't played it in a while, so I need to go through it and do some diagnostics and make sure everything is working. I had some flipper issues the last time I played it, and I never really spent a ton of time fixing them. I think it's okay, but I want to double check that and make sure everything's all good there. So if it's not, I may not work on it, and then I'll just play Black Knight instead. Black Knight Sword of Rage LE. And at some point I want to get the stream set up downstairs so I can do some Hobbit again. I still have Hobbit, and that would be kind of fun to play because I honestly haven't played Hobbit in months. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you for the follows. Have a great one.